Hello and welcome to Let's Rebuild Dimension Project, or Rebuild My Board, whatever I want to call it. I still don't know what I'm going to call this series. It's kind of a tutorial, but it's not really a tutorial. It's more of introducing you to, well, some things, and maybe give you some ideas on how to build your own site. So bear with me, I don't know what I'm doing with this, but when I do know what I'm doing with this, then some good things may indeed happen. And when those things do happen, then, well, my golly, we got some good here. Okay, so, what do we got? Okay, I mentioned everything there is to mention about this. In this episode, we are going to tackle down and create our first page. Now, if you want to follow with me exactly, I would recommend you download the latest version of Dimension Board. It's located at dimensionproject.com, so if you don't know, well, it's linked somewhere, so go look around. Don't be lazy. Well, that's what I'm here for. I'm trying to fix my laziness, so there you go. I mean, you don't necessarily have to follow along, because eventually I'll release 1.1 and you can, well, wait and then follow along then, if you really are that impatient. But anyways, I should be able to point you out, like, hey, this is what adjustment you need to make to the functions. And yes, I will go back and actually edit the functions. But not yet. Not yet. Okay. So, alright, we added this link right here. So I think we need to add our next link. Like, let's just say, let's see. If is admin or logged user mod news. And eventually I may actually just make this a variable. That way I don't have to type in logged user. I can just go moderates news or something like that, you know. I mean, it's not like I use it all the time, so I don't know. It's something to note to self when I redesign this. Okay. So let's see. What do I want to call this variable? I'm just going to be original. And by original, I mean I'm going to just follow my footsteps. I mean, I know for a fact that a lot of this I'm pretty much going to repeat. But I'm not going to copy and paste it because, well, yeah, copy and pasting has led to really bad things in the past. So we're not doing that. We're just going to make sure I take it one by one and type in everything. So let's see, we're going to start here, I think. Alright, TR. There's our table row. Alright, 1, 2, 3. I'm not tabbing because tabbing usually causes me problems later on when I try to edit this stuff. So I am not doing that because that just leads to bad things. Bad things. Just listen to me. I'll probably babble on about stuff, so whatever. Alright, so let's introduce the classes, or CSS classes. This is, just in case you don't know what this does specifically. In all my schemes, space basically is a class for, you know, giving out some, a table, or in the table it gives you some space. And it breaks up the tables, that way it looks nicer, rather than it all look clumped up and, you know, stuff like that. So this basically goes, hey, you know, I think we should have a little bit of space here, so I think that's a great idea, so we're doing that. Okay. and then /tr. Okay, so I am going to cut to the point that I have at least some of this done. So I'll see you then. Alright, and I'm back again. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so I kind of reformatted it a bit. So this is still a little long, but I'll just keep it there. This would actually extend all the way over here, so I'd probably see it. But yeah. So we have this. So this is our add news page. Like, when you have permission, you can add news. This little toolbar function is basically pointing to the text here. It's like, okay, when there's a little toolbar that you click and it uses JavaScript to give you some BB code. But unfortunately, I need to rebuild that eventually, so it needs some work. But regardless, it's there. So that's a little explanation of that function, just because I forgot. So let's see. We got our news title. We got a news text. That's all we really need. Okay. So next, we need our actual main text, because, hey. And what do you know? There you go. So, really, let's see, looking here. I am going to copy this. I'm going to break a little bit of tradition. Well, it's not really tradition, because it's actually technically, this is within tradition, but I'm trying to argue it so I can actually do stuff. But it makes things go by quicker. So, let's see. This, I know I don't want to change. This, I know I don't want to change. This, I know I want to change, because I don't need that class. At least not anymore. Eventually, I'll plan to do maybe different cell colors or whatever. But it really depends on what I want. In the meantime, it'll just be this. So, normal and border. What do they do? What do these classes do? You may be wondering. Title basically gives this a particular color. For instance, it gives you this red bar here. And for this particular scheme, it depends on the actual scheme. The scheme I have is the default Dimension project scheme that a nice user called Counterfeit made. But alas, alas. And let's see. And we have... Okay, the next one is the normal one. So we either use normal or title. Normal just gives it the normal little background we see here. So border is our next one. Border basically gives you the border right here. Without it, you would not get a border and it would all just be together. So we want a border. Center keeps it center. Because, well, this would look really weird if it wasn't centered. At least to me. Other people would probably not care. And we want to HTML special char this. Now, why? You should never have any HTML in the main title, even though the owner is the only one who's ever going to type in stuff here. It's always good practice to make sure that all of your inputs and outputs are, of course, monitored. And by monitored, I mean, you know, filtered and all that good stuff. Okay, so let's see here. Let's just separate that because it looks. I guess it looks better. All right, so what are we gonna do? Well, we got a query we need here. So we got the ability to edit this main page, the link for owners, if you're an owner, and we also got the link to add news, and we got the main little page thing here for the main text, and then we got our welcome to whatever site or whatever we have for the main title in our miscellaneous database. And by the way, miscellaneous is defined as a base query in mysql.php. And it contains all our MySQL functions, such as SQL under bracket query, which is a short, you could type in MySQL under bracket query, but SQL under bracket query, which is basically uses MySQL query, it counts up my queries, and it does a few other little things too. So, it's a nice little wrapper that I use. So, let's see. Before I get distracted, like I always will, excuse me, this may be a two-parter. I think all these scripts will, or some scripts may be even longer. I will try to break these up into 20 to 30-minute videos, so we'll see. Okay, so we got main text, and we got the edit link page, or the edit link stuff. Now we need our actual little variable here. Okay. I think this is right. Okay, so, oh, that's not what I want. Actually, I'm just going to call this news. Let's see, what should I call this? Actually, I'll just call it all news. Or latest news. Okay. Latest news. We'll just call this latest news because that is more clear to its purpose. Now, it doesn't really describe how much, but if you look at the actual query, it says limit 0, 0,5. So, it's like, okay. So, we just pick the last 5 from the descending and whatnot. So, okay. The query, however, is just fine. So, I'll just copy that. And we can break down this query if you really want to. Okay. So again, this is my little wrapper function. Select from news. We're actually selecting all, which is the star. From news, the database, or the table in the database. And we're ordering by ID. And we're descending, and the limit, we're limiting it to 5. So, what exactly does this do for us? Well, we're selecting the latest 5 rows from the table. So we now need to, let's make a loop to get all this stuff printed out and rolled up. And hey, we gotta get this stuff. We have to show the news, freedom of speech, yeah, all that other good jazz. Oh, you might notice that this says top 3. I used to actually have it to 3, but 5 seems like a better number. At least to me. Because I don't have much on my page for now, so I don't know. I probably will have a new design eventually, but eventually. So let's see here. Okay, so we have a few options. We could do a for loop, which is something like this, but, it's the I and whatnot's not necessary. But, I think the while is just I'm just more used to the while. There's a few instances where I should use a for loop or whatever, but that's just me. That is just me. And that's the fun thing about programming. Fun thing about programming. You don't necessarily... Well, I mean, there is a right way and a wrong way to do something, but there's multiple right ways to do something. Maybe there's better right ways to do something, but that's really up to the programmer. And of course, no script is perfectly bug-free. The person ever says, my script is bug-free, someone will break it. You just say, hey, my script is bug-free. Someone will break it. It may not be now. It may not be months from now. It may be a year. But someone, somewhere, is looking forward to breaking it. Because people just can't have nice things. This is why we can't have nice things. So, now there's going to be a big reason why you don't want to copy and paste all this. But, we will do this, but we're going to have to change all of this. That way we at least know exactly what we're getting out of this. So let me look here. Because we're actually going to limit this query, I think, to where it's not just selecting everything, but selecting title, text, user, ID, and IP, and date, and total comments. The total comments is basically it saying, hey, look, you got these many total comments. Every time you comment on the article, this is updated automatically in the database. And therefore, rather than using a query to count everything, every time you view this page, it's automatically counted for you. So then you go like, hey, look, this has 5 comments or 1 comment. So, you know, it shows you right here, where is it? There's this many comments. The SSS standing for the variable that decides, hey, you want an S or not. Eventually this will probably be replaced by a variable, but we'll get there, So, what do we want to do here? Well, first of all, we need to change this to news. News. Hey, guess what's new? News. I'm going to make this sound boring. News. And guess what? Not news. No, news. So, we changed all these variables. I mean, sure, you could have A, but I don't know why I typed that. That was very undescriptive. I mean, you don't have to. You could just name all your variables A, B, Z, and A, B. Yeah, apparently I don't know my alphabet. A, B, Z. Yeah, there's your alphabet, people. Good night, everybody. I'm Super Dick, and I am out. No, I am not out. I'm not out of it yet. I'm not crazy. But yeah. Let's see. So, we could take this and go, you know what, this is good. Or we can make a function here. Eventually, I'll move this up in functions, but until then, until I move it into functions, let's make a function. Hey, a function. Wow, gee whiz. Wow, this is... Oh, wait. We need a name for a function. What am I doing here? Let's see. What do I want to call this? What do I want to call this function? I hate being on the spot here. Let's see. I mean, I could just call it anything. I could call it SSSS. Because why not? Oh, we'll call it something else better later. For now, we'll just call it SSS because why not? Why not? So then we just replace this little variable here. And let's see, let's interval this. I mean, we don't have to, but just so we can make sure that, hey, I mean, I'll assume that the programmer is smart enough to give me a an integer there, but on the off chance he doesn't, if this is like A B C D E F G, because I do not know how to count, then it'll just give me 0, or because it just intervals off and goes, oh, there's no number, okay, bye. So if our count equals 1, then we don't want an S. So okay, so we got this little nice new little function here. I mean, it could be perfected so much easier, but we're not. We're not gonna go over it too much. So, how is this gonna help us? How is this gonna help us? Well, we don't have to type this anymore, but hey, it's right there now. Now it's just there, but with just a little more extra content. What the heck? Well, it may not be helpful now, but we're going to use it a few more times. It may not be now. It may not be for another few episodes, but we'll use it again. We'll use it. Okay, so let's see here. We got a big chunk of mess here. Well, I mean, it's not a big chunk, because, I mean, if you stretch this out, I mean, it's a little more clear, but still, I have to keep things within, you know, stretchable limit. I'd rather this be bigger, where I can see everything, rather than this, so bear with that. So, let's see here. So we skipped some of that code, so what are we going to do now? Well, if you moderate this, if you do, congratulations, you win $1 million. And if you don't, well, it sucks to be you, because you don't win $1 million, you go back to preschool, because this is what happens when I try to say stuff and not pay attention, because then I go, oh, look at me, I'm saying stuff. I make no sense at all. And I don't pay attention to me coding. What is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? Alright. So I'm actually going to rewrite this a little differently. Why? Because, well, I would rather prefer it be this way. The mandated and versus the unmandated, I guess. I don't know. What do you want to call it? So if you're an administrator, or if you moderate the news, then this loop is for you. And then we'll end the loop because, well, you may notice that my style of coding, I always use brackets. You don't have to. In fact, if you don't want to, don't use them. If, of course, you only use one line after this statement. However, I have a tendency to put comments in there. So, yeah, I always put them there. Because I may go, hey, stupid, this is for stupid people. Good. Yeah, this is for stupid people. This is for stupid people like you. See, it totally really makes sense there. Right, yeah. I really made myself look good there, didn't I? Yes, I did. Very good. So then, we have this little loop. Now let's show what... Let's see, I could say this is editing, but you know what? I am just going to say... You know, I'm just going to call it editing. Because, I mean, it has the editing links. All it really additionally shows is the IP. So, really, I'll just call it editing. And there's nothing really that much I want to change about it, so I'll copy it in. Shame on me. I said I wouldn't copy, but I'm not going to copy the whole thing. Alright, I'm going to break this down a bit so it's easier to read. Alright. You don't have to break it down to where this is on another line, but if you want to, that's great. It just makes it easier for everyone else. So then, we have that. That's nice. So let's save. Now, of course, I need to also close this other loop. I mean, we're not done yet. We're far from done. So, let's save this. So, of course, you may notice, hey look, this text will be later edited with a text editor. And then you got this little edit menu here. Rebuild. Okay, that's cool. That's really nice. It's fantastic. That is indubitably good. That is really good. But welcome to Dimension Board. This will be later edited with a text editor. That's nice, but you got links and stuff. It's like, okay, this is interesting, but it's missing. Lots of stuff. Missing. It's just, I could just donate $1 million to this guy because he's so amazing. Hey, look. Go to this link. Go to this link and click it. No? Okay. Okay, Mr. Millionaire. If you don't want to give me $1 million, that's fine. I would probably just use it on cheesecake or sugar or something really retarded. No. Or I could live, use it to live. I'll just go back to, trying to live. Shame. Okay, so we have this. And again, this is thanks to our little thing here, body content. So we got one little thing that's outputting from body content. Otherwise, if we just did this, and just commented that out, and it just equaled nothing, I broke the script, of course. Because I'm a derp, and I don't know what an equals is, because, wow, I'm so smart. There's no content found on this page. Screw content. I have pizza. Because that totally makes sense. Screw content. I have pizza. Yeah, that's really amazing. There's my other side. Don't. Well, actually, look at it. You should look at it. It's good. So we're gonna just redo that, or it never happened. There, it never existed. It was all in your imagination. You did not see the text that just disappeared magically. Okay, so what do we need to do? We gotta do some things. We gotta do some things. Okay. Well, I think I am going to break this up into another part. Yay, another part. And I'll see you next time.